Hey guys, this is Bill Allen with Evolve Lab, and today I'm going to be showing you how to convert a Sketchup model to a Revit model. Now, often the challenge is that we often do design in fun conceptual masking tools like Sketchup, but often the challenge is we have to then go through and Revitize those Sketchup files, right? And so what we want to try to do is we want to convert the SketchUp information into real Revit geometry, whether that's walls, doors, windows, curtain wall, or roofs. And so to do that, what we're going to use today is a tool called Helix. And to initiate the tool, what you want to do is you'll go to the Evolve Lab tab and click on the Helix button right here. And so when I launch this, basically what it does, it launches this window that allows me to sync my Revit information over to the SketchUp side. The reason this is useful is so that we don't accidentally input the wrong information on the SketchUp side. So it'll map your windows, your doors, curtain wall, roof, things like that over on the SketchUp side, so that way all the information comes over to Revit fully schedulable. So to do that, what we're going to do is you can either browse, or if you know your location, you can put it in. Again, browsing allows you to do that. For the sake of this video and time, I'm going to go ahead and just paste the location here, and then I'm going to paste the location for the windows as well. So I'm putting in information for the windows, and then I'm also putting in the folder location for the doors. You'll also note that in here I have the ability to sync the wall types for my current project or template, as well as the roof types and the curtain wall. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit sync types on this, and depending on how much content that you have in your directory, this could take quite a while, a few minutes, depending on how much information you have. Often, maybe what you might do is do this at the beginning of, say, a Revit deployment, syncing these types. The challenge is if you have any other new content that comes online, you'll have to sync those types again, trying to bring that information over. And so you can see we get the, of course, lovely window spinning wheel of death, and we'll wait for this to finish up here in just a minute. Once it's finished, we'll get the prompt that it says it's done syncing. Proceed to SketchUp. So I'm going to go over to the SketchUp side, and you can see I have the SketchUp model. Now, again, what we'll do is we'll launch Helix over on the SketchUp side, and over here I have a window that allows me to go through and start mapping some of this information. So I've already started to map a few items earlier just for the sake of time, but I did want to show most of the categories here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the window, curtain wall, roof, and wall over. And so if I click on this window, the process is you right click and you say send to be mapped. And you can see it pops up here in this uncategories spot. So then I'll right click on this wall, send to be mapped, the roof, send to be mapped. And then lastly, I'm going to do this curtain wall right here. Okay. So now I have these elements within my Helix toolbar, and you can see that they have not been assigned a category yet. Now, what's really great about this is I'm going to go ahead and assign this the appropriate category. So this is a window, and curtain wall, wall, and roof. And so it drops it in the appropriate category. Now, what's really awesome about this is that since it's under the correct category, it now filters down for only the Revit types that exist for that category. So I'm going to pick the white brick on metal stud for this category. For the window, I'll pick a fixed window type. For the roof, I'll pick a roof type. We'll just say generic 9-inch for now. And then for this example, we're going to say storefront. And so you can see some of these other ones I've already mapped. The other thing you're able to do if you go over to the SketchUp side is that you can also add these levels. And so the levels give you the ability to have the geometry associated to certain levels. Now, currently the way the tool works is it's the top and base constraints for, say, a wall to its closest level. A window is going to be the closest base constraint. And so I can go through and I can add levels in here, and I added those levels into my SketchUp model. You can then go ahead and move them to their appropriate heights, which I will not take time to do in this video, just for the sake of time, but you can go through and move these to their appropriate locations, and those levels will come across as well. Once you give it the information mapped appropriately and the levels added that you want, and by the way, you don't need to add levels. You can just use the tool without adding levels, and it'll just put it on level 1 for you. And so I'll go ahead and hit export. You can see that it exported, and then I'll go over to the Revit side and then I'll import it. So again, we're going to go to Helix and import elements. I can pick which categories I want to bring over. I say import, and then the tool will actually start drawing all of these components right before you. And so you can see I have my walls, it's placed windows, it's placed doors and curtain wall and roofs. And if I create a section box, you can see that this is all Real Revit components and geometry. Further, if I go through and I create a window schedule, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick the width and the height, and let's pick count. And so I'll accept that. And you can see that it's actually scheduling these. So these are Real Revit windows, Real Revit doors, curtain walls, roofs, etc. And so that's how you can bring your SketchUp information, your SketchUp model over to Revit as Real Revit components. Thanks, and have a great day.